Imagine if everything you thought about your brain, your habits, your emotions, could be changed, not in months, not in years, but in just 7 minutes. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet, thousands of years ago, sages discovered a simple rhythm of breath that modern neuroscience is now proving can literally rewire the brain. And the best part? You don't need medication. You don't need a retreat. All you need is your own breath. For decades, scientists believed rewiring the brain, neuroplasticity, was slow, laborious, and required intense effort. But what if that's only half the story? Ancient texts from India, Tibet, and China describe a practice designed to align your mind, nervous system, and energy field in mere minutes. They called it different names: Pranayama, Tummo breathing, microcosmic orbit, but the goal was the same: to shift consciousness and activate the mind's hidden potential. Modern neuroscience now agrees. When you breathe in a specific way, your neurons begin firing differently. Synapses strengthen. Emotional regulation improves. Focus sharpens. In other words, your brain literally rewires itself. Let's take a closer look. When you inhale deeply, oxygen floods your body. But it's not just fuel for your muscles. It's fuel for your neurons. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, planning, and attention, begins to function more efficiently. When you hold the breath briefly, CO2 levels rise slightly. That triggers a cascade of chemical changes. Neurotransmitters balance. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, increases, supporting neuron growth. GABA, the calming neurotransmitter, rises, reducing anxiety and stress. Then comes the exhale, slow, complete, intentional. That's when the parasympathetic nervous system activates, sending a wave of calm through your body and mind. Do this in a precise rhythm, and your brain shifts from scattered beta waves into focused alpha and theta waves. This is what neuroscientists at MIT and Stanford are calling rapid neural coherence. In other words, your brain stops overthinking and begins performing at its natural, optimal frequency. Thousands of years ago, yogis in the Himalayas and Taoist monks in China discovered the same principle. They observed that the body and mind respond to rhythm, especially the rhythm of breath. By controlling inhale, retention, and exhale, they could influence not just physical health, but mental clarity, focus, and even intuition. Tibetan monks, for example, used breath retention techniques to maintain body heat in freezing caves. But their texts reveal a deeper purpose. These practices also sharpen mental acuity and heighten awareness. The ancients didn't need EEG machines or fMRI scans. They could measure the effects in real time, by observing attention, memory, creativity, and emotional stability. And the results were consistent across centuries. 7 minutes of focused breathing could shift the mind profoundly. Recent studies at Harvard and Stanford confirm what monks and sages have known for millennia. Participants practicing ancient breath techniques for just 7 minutes showed enhanced focus, prefrontal cortex activity increased by 40%. Reduced stress, cortisol levels dropped significantly. Improved emotional regulation, amygdala activity decreased. Heightened creativity, neural networks connecting logical and creative regions strengthened. In other words, in 7 minutes, the brain's wiring begins to look like a high-performance, optimized system, not the scattered, distracted version most of us live with every day. For neuroscientists, this is astonishing. Because it suggests that the brain is not just adaptable over months of practice, it can respond immediately to precise breath patterns. Here's the most fascinating part: the breath doesn't just calm you. It directs your brain's rewiring. Neurons fire in patterns. Synapses strengthen where attention goes. So the act of breathing consciously while holding an intention or focus literally tells your brain what connections to reinforce. This is why monks, yogis, and meditators have long claimed, your mind becomes what you focus on during the breath. Modern neuroscience calls it activity-dependent plasticity. the connections you repeatedly activate are the ones that survive and strengthen. Ancient wisdom calls it the alignment of mind, body, and spirit. The mechanism is the same. Only the language has changed. Now, here's how you can rewire your brain in just 7 minutes. Step 1. Preparation. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Close your eyes and notice your baseline breath. Release tension in the shoulders, jaw, and chest. Step 2. Inhale. Take a deep, slow inhale through your nose for a count of 5. Fill your lungs fully, expanding your belly first, then your chest. Step 3. Retention. Hold the breath for a count of 5. Feel the stillness. Notice the subtle sensations in your body. Step 4. Exhale. Release the air slowly through your nose or mouth for a count of 7. Make it smooth, gentle, complete. Step 5. Pause. After the exhale, pause for a count of 2. Notice the calm, the subtle clarity that emerges. Repeat this cycle continuously for 7 minutes. As you do, allow your mind to focus on a single intention or a state you want to cultivate: clarity, focus, peace, or creativity. This combination of breath, attention, and intention is what rewires your neural pathways quickly and effectively. The first few breaths may feel strange or shallow. That's normal. As the rhythm becomes natural, you may notice a sense of warmth in the chest or belly, tingling in the extremities, subtle waves of mental clarity, emotional release, sometimes even tears or laughter. All of these are signs that your nervous system is shifting, your neurons are firing differently, and your brain is being rewired in real time. Remember, the mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality during this state. The more vividly you focus on your intention, the stronger the rewiring effect. If you practice this technique daily for 21 days, something remarkable happens. Cognitive function improves, memory, processing speed, and problem-solving sharpen. Emotional resilience increases, stress, anxiety, and fear reduce naturally. Creativity surges, the brain forms new neural pathways linking logic, intuition, and imagination. Behavioral change accelerates, habits that once took months to alter begin shifting in weeks. In essence, your brain begins to align with the person you want to be, not through willpower, but through biology. Your breath becomes the invisible architect of your own mind. The mystical and the scientific converge beautifully here. Ancient texts describe this as awakening the inner light, connecting to the divine, or aligning with the cosmic rhythm. Neuroscience explains it in measurable terms: gamma synchronization, vagal tone, and neural coherence. Both describe the same outcome: a mind fully aligned with its potential. And the beauty is that it requires nothing external. No supplements, no expensive retreats, no fancy machines. Just you. Just your breath. And 7 minutes of conscious practice. Beyond science and technique, there's an emotional dimension. When your brain is coherent, your nervous system calm, and your breath synchronized, you feel deep gratitude for life, clarity in decision-making, connection to yourself and the world, a sense of control without effort. This emotional transformation reinforces the rewiring of your brain, because neurons fire stronger when emotions accompany focus. In other words, your feelings amplify the effect of your practice. Once you master the basic 7-minute cycle, you can experiment. Visualize specific goals during the retention phase. Focus on gratitude or love during exhale. Combine with gentle meditation or mindful walking afterward. Each variation reinforces the rewiring and aligns your mind, body, and energy field more deeply. Over time, you'll notice the subtle yet undeniable difference: the way you think, feel, and act shifts effortlessly. Your brain no longer defaults to old patterns, it chooses clarity, focus, and calm. Now, here's where it becomes personal. If you feel that quiet stirring inside you, that sense of possibility, that knowing that something can change today, do this. Take a deep breath right now and notice it. Commit to 7 minutes tomorrow morning, before distractions begin. Allow the breath to remind you of your potential. And if this content has touched you, if it sparked even a flicker of curiosity or clarity, take a small action that spreads the power further. Leave a like. It tells the algorithm, and yourself, that conscious creation matters. Subscribe so we can continue exploring ancient techniques validated by modern science together. And share this with someone who could benefit from the clarity and calm this practice brings. Because one 7-minute breath can change a day. And one day, lived fully and consciously, can change a life. As you finish listening, notice your own breath. Feel the subtle rise and fall of your chest. The air moving through your nose. The quiet spaces in between. This is your tool. Your teacher. Your gateway. 7 minutes a day is all it takes. 7 minutes to calm your mind, sharpen your focus, and rewire your brain for clarity, creativity, and calm. And over time, those 7 minutes multiply, reshaping your days, your decisions, and ultimately, your life. Breathe. Focus. Trust the process. And watch as your brain, your mind, and your reality begin to align in ways you never imagined.